Where are we? Earth. Before we get into the topic of where we are consciously, I'd first like to tackle the issue of where we are physically. Now, mainstream science would have us believe that we spontaneously combusted out of thin air, evolved from monkeys by mistake, and live on a water-filled spherical rock that's violently spinning, twisting, and shaking endlessly and aimlessly through space. This, of course, goes against all reasoning and common sense. But because this is the collective narrative we are all born into, we all consciously choose to ignore our common senses and reasoning in the name of science. Those of us who have broken free from the social conditioning of blind belief in the name of science have awoken and now realize that our beautiful Mother Earth is not a violently spinning ball like we are told, but in fact a fixed plane, flat and motionless. Yes, Earth is flat, just like our common senses tell us, and just like all ancient cultures and peoples believed it to be and depicted it as. Now, I've heard a lot of people say, it doesn't matter what shape, size, or position the Earth is. What difference does it make anyway? Well, if you don't know where you are, that means you are lost. How can you know where to go or where you're going if you don't even know where you are? If we are all lost, then surely we must find our way back. But back to where? This is why it's important to find out where we are, so we can find out where we are going, or at the very least, supposed to be going. Now, I won't go into the exact details or proofs of our flat earth realm. There are already hundreds of documentaries, books, and channels on this topic for you to peruse at your own leisure. If this is new to you, I highly recommend you search or YouTube any of the names mentioned in the first video. For the sake of sanity, or insanity, let's take a reflective and objective look at how Earth could be perceived by someone who is consciously awake, aware, and paying attention. Earth, at the moment, could be described as land of the living dead. Lost souls going nowhere fast without a known destination, round and round in circles in a confused daze, where beings are incarnated without a clue about who, what, or where they are. Many of us are so dead we don't even care anymore. This is a place where everyone is encouraged to join and participate in the cults or cultures of blind belief, blood, flesh and pus consumption, chasing and hoarding pieces of paper, fighting for illusory ideals like politics, religion and material wealth, buy, eat, reproduce, die, repeat. Those who question the above cults are seen as strange, odd, outsiders, loners, conspiracy theorists, failures who are looking for excuses for not being able to cope or fit in. We are all strongly encouraged to go with the program, teach our children the program, love and protect the program. Anyone who tries to deprogram and escape the cults of a society is judged, labelled and ostracized. Earth has become a prison, where we are the prisoners and the prison guards, policed by the very beings being enslaved, us. Fortunately, many of us are finally starting to snap out of the program, questioning, investigating, and trying to find answers and ways out of this prison cult system. No longer are we satisfied with just going with the program and ignorantly waiting for Father Time, the Grim Reaper, Death, to come knocking on our door. We refuse to willingly feed this cult system. Ignorance is no longer acceptable. Fear is no longer effective. Of course, those who are consciously awake will always be considered crazy by those still consciously asleep. As the great philosopher Plato put it, those who are able to see beyond the shadows and lies of their culture will never be understood, let alone believed by the masses. Close quote. But if you're like me, it doesn't matter. Being considered crazy by those who are still victims of cultural conditioning, well, is a compliment. I'm also conscious to the fact that for many watching this and similar videos, this is just too much information. Either because of social conditioning or institutional brainwashing, most of us are just not consciously mature enough, yet, afraid or in denial to even consider researching any of this occulted knowledge. You are probably getting a strong feeling of negative resistance to ignore or ridicule any information that goes against what you think you already know. This resistance is known as cognitive dissonance. However, there are a select few who are immune to this cognitive dissonance. In 1907, Henry Bergson described it best. He said, open quote, "Fortunately, some are born with spiritual immune systems that sooner or later give rejection to the illusory worldview grafted upon them from birth through social conditioning. They begin sensing that something is amiss and start looking for answers. Inner knowledge and anomalous outer experience shows them a side of reality others are oblivious to, and so begins their journey of awakening. Each step of the journey is made by following the heart instead of following the crowd, and by choosing knowledge over the veils of ignorance." Close quote. Those of us with a spiritual immune system described by Henry Bergson are and have awoken to the illusory reality we are all born into. We are realizing more and more that there is in fact more to life than meets the eye. From mid-tier conspiracy theories like 9/11, secret societies, chemtrails, false flags, fake news, money, politics, religion, science, history, the list is endless, to the deeper, more occulted truths being unveiled like our flat earth realm, the black sun of intent, Mount Meru, the tree of life at the North Pole, the power and relevance of blood over intent, the Saturn moon matrix, the crucial importance of sun gazing, veganism and spirituality, just to name a few. We will explore some of these topics later in this video. Those of us who are currently ahead on this journey will continue to seek, share and follow truth wherever it might lead us. Like the saying goes, truth is like a lion. It doesn't need defending. Set it free and it will defend itself. If you are brave enough to follow that lion, the truth will eventually set you free.